We're talking about objects that defy the known laws of aerodynamics with a technology beyond what we have today. And so that's why people are scratching their heads. Whose are these things if they're not the Chinese, the Russians, or the United States? These aliens or whatever are maybe 100 years more advanced than us. They have a set of laws of physics beyond what we can muster. These objects create no sonic booms. When you exceed the sound barrier, you create a gigantic boom that is then shatters windows and can be heard miles around. These objects can effortlessly break the sound barrier and not create a sonic boom.
For more than a century, a strange idea has lingered at the edge of science and speculation. An object allegedly ancient, silently orbiting Earth, watching, waiting, known as the Black Knight satellite. Some claim it has been there for over 13,000 years. Others believe it's proof that Earth has been observed by an intelligence far older and far more advanced than our own. And just before we plunge deeper into cosmic enigmas, a quick aside. If you're enjoying this journey into the unknown, feel free to tap the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss future mysteries. It's free, takes less time than a satellite sunset, and apparently the YouTube algorithm absolutely swoons when you show a little engagement. But what is actually known, and what is myth? The mystery is often traced back to 1899, when inventor Nikola Tesla reported detecting unusual radio signals while experimenting with wireless transmission in Colorado Springs. Tesla described the signals as structured and repetitive, unlike atmospheric noise or known natural interference. At the time, radio technology was still in its infancy, and Tesla speculated that the signals could be originating from space, possibly even from another world. Before we go further, I'd really love to hear your thoughts. Do you think Tesla genuinely detected something extraordinary, or was it simply misunderstood science ahead of its time? Share your opinions in the comments. We genuinely try to read as many as possible, and constructive, thoughtful insights might even inspire future videos. A little humor is welcome too, as long as it's grounded. Decades later, some theorists would retroactively link these reports to the Black Knight, suggesting Tesla had unknowingly detected transmissions from an artificial object orbiting Earth. However, Tesla himself never mentioned a satellite, nor did he claim the signals were connected to any physical object in orbit. More importantly, artificial satellites did not yet exist, making such an interpretation impossible in the context of his era. The association between Tesla and the Black Knight was constructed much later, after spaceflight became reality when earlier mysteries were reinterpreted through a modern lens. In the early 1950s, at the height of the Cold War, the world entered a new era of surveillance, secrecy, and technological anxiety. Radar systems, still relatively primitive by modern standards, were being pushed beyond their original purpose, scanning skies that humanity had barely begun to understand. During this period, U.S. radar operators reported detecting unidentified objects at extreme altitudes. Let's pause for a moment. Given the Cold War's atmosphere of secrecy and suspicion, do you think radar anomalies were more likely misunderstood tech or genuine unknowns? Leave a comment with your stance. We sincerely appreciate thoughtful perspectives, and we read and consider as many as we can. Sometimes, the best ideas come from the community, and who knows, yours might shape a future investigation. This was before the public launch of artificial satellites, years ahead of Sputnik, and long before spaceflight was fully understood. The implications were unsettling. If the readings were accurate, then something appeared to already be circling the planet, something not publicly acknowledged by any nation. Almost immediately, rumors spread. Media reports, often vague and secondhand, magnified the uncertainty. Some writers suggested the objects were extraterrestrial, remnants of technology far beyond human capability. Others speculated they were classified military projects, secretly launched by either the United States or the Soviet Union, hidden from public view during an era defined by espionage and misinformation. The lack of transparency only deepened suspicion. Governments rarely clarified what their radar systems were detecting, and when they did, explanations were often delayed or incomplete. But despite the growing speculation, no physical evidence ever emerged. No recovered hardware, no confirmed photographs, no documented orbital data. As radar technology improved, the mysterious readings faded, absorbed into a growing understanding of atmospheric phenomena, experimental tracking errors, and the limitations of early detection systems. What remained was not proof, but a narrative shaped by fear, secrecy, and the unknown. And in the vacuum left by missing information, the legend of an unseen object in orbit quietly took root, waiting for the next generation to rediscover it. NASA footage and the revival of the legend, the Black Knight legend, resurfaced in the late 1990s, not because of a new discovery, but because of a familiar trigger: imagery without context. During several space shuttle missions, NASA released photographs taken during spacewalks, intended to document routine operations and equipment checks. Among those images was a dark, irregular object, drifting silently above Earth, its shape undefined, its scale unclear, its origin unexplained. To the casual viewer, almost immediately, the images were pulled from their technical setting and circulated online. Forums, early websites, and emerging digital communities labeled the object the Black Knight satellite. To many, it appeared massive, artificial, ancient, and unsettlingly out of place. NASA later addressed the claims. According to mission records and astronaut reports, the object was space debris, most likely a thermal blanket or insulation panel that had separated from the shuttle during routine activity. Such materials are lightweight, flexible, and capable of tumbling slowly through orbit for extended periods. But the clarification failed to end the debate. Supporters of the Black Knight theory argued that the object's unusual shape, its apparent stability, and the way it seemed to hover relative to the camera did not resemble ordinary debris. Some claimed it followed an unnatural trajectory. Others suggested it was deliberately avoiding detection. Skeptics countered with a simpler explanation. Space is a hostile environment for perception. Lighting is extreme, shadows are absolute. Without gravity or depth cues, even familiar objects can appear alien. A flat piece of material can look three-dimensional. Slow drift can seem like controlled motion. Perspective and camera angle can transform debris into something that feels deliberate and intelligent. But what about this table? It doesn't feel like physical. In the end, the images revealed less about what was in orbit and more about how easily ambiguity can be mistaken for intention. A single photograph, detached from its context, was enough to revive a legend that had already survived for decades: alien probe or ancient artifact. Over time, the theories didn't just grow, they multiplied. Some claimed the object is an alien probe, deliberately placed in Earth's orbit thousands of years ago to quietly observe human development. A silent sentinel, watching civilizations rise and fall, waiting for humanity to reach a level of technology capable of recognizing its presence. Others believe it could be the relic of an advanced, ancient civilization, lost to history. According to this idea, a forgotten culture, either human or non-human, once possessed technology far beyond what mainstream history acknowledges, and the Black Knight is the last surviving fragment of that vanished world. These interpretations rarely stand alone. They often merge into broader ancient astronaut theories, connecting the Black Knight to monumental structures like the pyramids of Egypt, the stonework of Machu Picchu, and megalithic sites scattered across the globe. Supporters argue that such feats of engineering could not have been achieved without external influence or lost knowledge passed down from a far more advanced past. Together, these ideas form a compelling narrative, one that weaves space, history, and mythology into a single thread. But narratives are not evidence. Despite decades of speculation, no scientific data supports these claims. There is no confirmed orbit that suggests the object has remained stable for thousands of years. There are no identifiable transmissions that can be traced to a non-human source, and there is no verified material analysis, no recovered fragment, no physical sample that points to technology beyond known human capabilities. Without measurable data, repeatable observations, or physical proof, these theories remain exactly what they are: imaginative interpretations built on coincidence, incomplete information, and the human tendency to connect mysteries across time and space. Compelling stories, but stories nonetheless. From a scientific standpoint, the Black Knight satellite is not an unresolved anomaly, it is a misinterpretation. Astronomers and space agencies have consistently explained the sightings through well-documented, observable phenomena. Earth's orbit is not an empty void, but a crowded and chaotic environment, filled with thousands of artificial objects, many of them poorly understood in the early years of spaceflight. Among the most common explanations are space debris, discarded rocket stages, insulation panels, thermal blankets, and fragmented equipment that drift silently through orbit. These objects often tumble unpredictably, reflecting sunlight in ways that can dramatically alter their appearance. There are also experimental payloads, launched during the Cold War and early space programs, some of which were never publicly cataloged in detail at the time. In an era of secrecy and limited tracking technology, these objects frequently appeared mysterious, long after their original purpose was forgotten. Camera artifacts play an equally important role. Lighting conditions in space are extreme, shadows are absolute, reflections are sharp and unforgiving. A flat object can appear three-dimensional. A slow-moving object can seem stationary. Without depth cues or reference points, even trained observers can be misled. Then there are misidentified satellites, objects whose orbits were poorly tracked, temporarily lost, or incorrectly labeled. Before modern tracking networks, gaps in data were common, allowing speculation to fill the silence. Today, we know that thousands of objects orbit Earth, ranging from operational satellites to fragments no larger than a screw. Many have irregular shapes, many spin, many appear and disappear depending on viewing angle and lighting. In earlier decades, when tracking systems were primitive and public information was limited, these objects were far easier to misinterpret. What once seemed extraordinary now fits comfortably within known physics, orbital mechanics, and human error. The mystery, it turns out, was never in the sky, but in how little we understood about what was already there. Why the legend endures despite repeated debunking, the Black Knight refuses to fade because it speaks to something far deeper than orbit paths or photographic evidence. It speaks to a question humanity has asked since the first person looked up at the night sky. Are we alone? In a universe that feels overwhelmingly vast and indifferent, the idea that something, anything, might be out there watching us is strangely comforting, not threatening, not invasive, just present, quiet, patient, observing from a distance across centuries. The thought that an ancient intelligence could have placed an object in Earth's orbit long before modern civilization even existed taps into a powerful instinct, the hope that we are part of a larger story, that humanity is not an accident drifting through a silent universe, but a chapter in something much older and far greater. Technical explanations struggle to compete with that idea. Debris and misidentified equipment feel cold, impersonal, final. But mystery allows imagination to breathe. It leaves the door open just enough for wonder to survive. In that sense, the Black Knight is not really a satellite at all. It is a mirror, a reflection of our curiosity, our need to explore and question what lies beyond our reach, a reflection of our fear that we might be utterly alone in the cosmic dark, and a reflection of our longing for connection, meaning, and confirmation that consciousness is not unique to this small planet. We project these hopes into the void, and when something unusual appears in the sky, it becomes a vessel for all of them. The Black Knight endures not because of evidence, but because of emotion. Because it lives at the intersection of science and belief, where facts end and imagination begins. And as long as humanity continues to look upward, searching for answers beyond the stars, stories like the Black Knight will continue to orbit our collective consciousness, unseen, unresolved, and impossible to fully let go. So, what is the Black Knight? There is no confirmed evidence of an ancient alien satellite orbiting Earth, no verified transmissions, no measured orbit that defies physics, no material ever recovered that points to a non-human origin, and yet the story refuses to disappear. Because what the Black Knight truly reveals is not something orbiting above us, but something within us. Our universe is vast, beyond comprehension, a place where billions of galaxies stretch across unimaginable distances, and where Earth is little more than a fragile point of light. In a universe this large, certainty is rare, and unanswered questions are inevitable. Our knowledge, despite its progress, remains incomplete. Every breakthrough exposes new gaps. Every solved mystery opens the door to deeper unknown. Science advances not by eliminating mystery, but by pushing it further outward toward the edges of what we can observe, measure, and understand. And it is at those edges that stories like the Black Knight are born. When science cannot immediately explain what we see, imagination steps in. When information is fragmented, secrecy fills the void. When fear and wonder collide, myth takes shape. Over time, speculation hardens into belief, and belief transforms into legend. The Black Night is not evidence of an alien observer, but it is a reminder of how easily uncertainty can become narrative, how human curiosity, combined with limited data and cosmic scale, can transform ordinary objects into extraordinary ideas. Perhaps the real mystery is not whether something has been watching us for thousands of years, but why we are so deeply compelled to believe that it has. In the silence of space, we don't just search for signs of others. We search for meaning, connection, and reassurance that we are not alone in the dark. And until evidence replaces speculation, the Black Night will remain exactly where it belongs, not in orbit above Earth, but at the crossroads of science, secrecy, and imagination. That may be the most human mystery of all. If you found this exploration intriguing, I'd be thrilled if you gave the video a like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss future deep dives. It costs nothing, genuinely strengthens the channel, and ensures you'll be first in line for the next cosmic mystery. And if you feel inspired, share this with someone who loves the unknown as much as you do.